Hello everyone, and welcome to game number 2 in the series between Th000 and Yumiko. This time around, Yumiko has still decided to play as the blue human player, though Th000 has opted to go for the red undead. Undead versus human here on Secret Valley. Really looking forward to this game, as Yumiko pretty much had game 1 in game 1 under control from the very get-go. Not quite sure what happened there. There was even that level 1 Archmage falling to creeps and a very good steal, but it was really obvious that Th000 had invested far too much into archers. As soon as Defend was finished researching for all of those footmen, Yumiko had that game pretty much under wraps, going from the early game to the mid game, and then stretching that economic advantage to take the late game and the victory. Even though he was behind even though he was behind in terms of hero experience with only a level 3 Archmage and a level 2 Goblin Alchemist. We are going now into game number 2 in this series, as the Death Knight is already being trained, and it looks like we will be going for a early ghoul push. Nope, never mind, take it back. There is that graveyard. We are in fact going for Crypt Fiends. Crypt Fiends, a very strong choice, but we are also seeing a rather unusual Mountain King first here on Secret Valley. Now, based on the timing here, Yumiko may be thinking to himself, you know what, if I speed build this Altar of Kings, that means that I should have plenty of cover to try and get this Mountain King to level 2. Mountain King sitting at level 2 is significantly stronger than, say, the Mountain King at level 1, just because of the options that you have. So far, the Militia are now making its way over here. Are we going to perhaps see a Stormbolt for going first after that Null Assassin, making a little bit of room there? Stormbolt on the Null Overseer, just to try and stun him for 5 seconds and save a whole bunch of damage. You can see that the Mountain King is so far taking down this Null Overseer fairly quickly with the help of all of those Militia. Militia gonna go ahead and surround it. There it goes, as the Mountain King picks up a Ring of Protection +2 and also has a Footman to his name. Meanwhile, this Footman is still chasing after this Acolyte. Acolyte down to 55 hit points, as the Mountain King may try to turn around and get off another Stormbolt. We don't see that as of yet, and oh, the Acolyte is going to be able to make it all the way back home. He does not want to go, or this Footman does not want to go in any further, as the ghouls are right there. There go back all of those ghouls, as the Mountain King is still looking to get to level 2. All right, let's take a look at this. Null is going to be taking a fair bit of damage, and 49 damage, and it looks like, yes, the Death Knight really didn't even try and bother to steal it. I am surprised by that. As you can see, now the skeletal minions are just going to end up falling. One skeletal minion, there's a bash now onto the Death Knight. The Mountain King still trying to make its way over. Skeletal minion still giving a little bit of chase here, as the skeletal minions now running back off to the north. Death Knight now still wandering around off to the north here, off to the left side. What is going to be happening, as the Death Knight still just waiting for a couple of Crypt Fiends to, no, not Crypt Fiends, ghouls to join in, as we are now going into gargoyles. Alright, so this is a rather unusual strategy, but it makes a lot of sense. Most human players go for an Archmage and get Water Elemental, making gargoyles not a very strong possibility. Now, because we went for Mountain King first really opens up the fact that you can go Gargoyle first, as, oh, there goes another, I believe the Death Knight being forced to use a Squirrel Town portal. I believe we saw a Death Coil there or something, a little bit of that animation, as the Mountain King now running by. This is not very good news at all. The Mountain King now needs to run all the way back. We are still at Town Hall, looking to get to tier 2, or looking to set up an expansion off over here. We can see that there is no lumber mill, so if we get a fair number of gargoyles fast enough, there is not going to be any real anti-air. Alright, Ogre Magi going to fall there. Talisman of Evasion will be picked up eventually by that Mountain King. There he is, showing up to the party a little bit late, but still early enough to pick up his items. And the Mountain Kings looking to clear off that Troll Berserker. Mountain King sitting at level 2, very close to level 3 here. There's a Stormbolt now on the Ghoul, and the Mountain King just really needs to finish it off. If he can get to level 3, that Mountain King at level 2 should be able to get off another Stormbolt on an unsuspecting Ghoul, and if he gets another Stormbolt off, that should be enough. Oh, the Footmen doing a great job there. They're pathing, causing a little bit of delay, or a little bit of delay there, as the Mountain King may try and perhaps try and clear out these creep camps. No, that Drake is just going to be too big of an issue. Death Knight sitting at level 1. There's a Death Coil taking down a Peasant. Skeletal Minions now looking to finish this off here. Guard Towers, double Guard Towers already underway as the Death Knight gets another Death Coil. All right, 5 units around here, and that means that the Death Knight is going to get taken out at level 1, and this is just not good news at all for Th000. Th000 is going into those gargoyles, but he is not going to be able to engage with those gargoyles until the Death Knight is nearby. And by the time those gargoyles are anywhere near this base, both guard towers will already be up. Another guard tower down here by Yumiko. We see no masonry upgrade as of yet. And all Yumiko wants to do is just stretch out this early game as long as he can and let that economic advantage start to pay for itself. All right, Gargoyles now showing up to the party, and there you have it. If the Gargoyles accidentally hit the wrong unit, that Red Drake will turn on him. That Footman needs to perhaps get away. That Footman is now running back around, getting out of sight. Now the Red Drake may be chasing after those Gargoyles now. As you can see, a little bit of an engagement there. No, going after that poor Footman. That Footman needs to be able to get away, unable to do so. The Death Knight did get some experience there, as the Death Knight is on the field and getting very close now to level 2. All right, let's see the Fountain of Health. Not going to be doing very much. Skeletal Minions going to clear out here, and we may see the Red Drake get taken out. So far, the Gargoyles are now arriving to the party. They should really be going after this Red Drake, since the Red Drake does deal a majority of the damage to these Gargoyles. The Gargoyles just really trying to stay alive and not let that Red Drake take them down. Mountain King sitting at level 3 now, getting very close to level 4. Meanwhile, the Death Knight, now sitting at level 2, does clear out the Red Drake and pick up Devotion Aura, a little bit reminiscent to when he was a Paladin some time ago. So far, Footman now trying to get away once again. All of those Gargoyles making their way in. Arcane Vault nearing, or trying to get constructed, not going to stay up though, as the Guard Tower is going to push back all of those Gargoyles once more. Now, the ball is really in Th000's court. If Th000 can really stretch this advantage, take down a couple of guard towers, and then push and take down perhaps some units, that is going to be a very big play. Otherwise, not much is going to really happen here. Mountain King Stormbolts down, a gargoyle there. We are now down to 6 or 5 gargoyles here, as the Footmen do have Defend, and this is a little bit interesting. The Footmen with Defend are actually bouncing back much of the attack that the gargoyles are dealing, and with that problem, that allows the Mountain King to finish up with a very, very big Stormbolt. All right, let's see. One guard tower is now down. This gargoyle down to 149 hit points, with the Mountain King nowhere nearby again. Oh, are we going to see that gargoyle? No, the gargoyle is going to go into opposite directions. Meanwhile, we are building guard tower number 2 while adding in 2 additional scout towers for added protection. Gargoyles now making their way over. Is this going to be the end of a couple of peasants, or perhaps a tower or 2? You can see some massive repairing going down, and wow, that tower just gets absolutely destroyed in an instant. However, what is this Staff of Teleportation? Where's the Mountain King going? The Mountain King now tries to get away. It needs some sort of Orb of Fire in order to deal with these gargoyles, as the gargoyles easily push or force a cancellation on this scout tower. All right, guard tower once again getting upgraded here. This guard tower over here is about halfway done, as the gargoyles are now perhaps doing a bit of regrouping. All right, Death Knight now looking to creep, does get to level 3 here, and as this Death Knight army gets stronger and stronger, he's actually going to end up finding himself a little bit behind. The gargoyles need to constantly be harassing, as they are a very strong early game unit and mid game unit, but their effectiveness really tapers off towards the end. Once your opponent gets anywhere from about 5 towers, those towers are pretty much going to be too much DPS for those gargoyles to stick around. All right, Mountain King still absorbing way too much damage. Now needs to run all the way back home. Looks like he will be able to do exactly that under the cover of these guard towers. And what is happening here next? All right, let's take a look. There is a Stormbolt there. It looks as though one of the guard towers will get taken down. One gargoyle gets taken down as well. So Stormbolt, in order to get a gargoyle for the cost of a scout tower, very good trade there, even though no experience was given since it was killed by a tower. So far, we see Obsidian Statues now joining in on this fight. We are going to be going into an engagement. Here we are. Death Knight is here as well. Are we going to see an engagement with these units? The Gargoyles now trying to focus down these guard towers. It looks as though a couple of peasants will get taken down as well, as the Mountain King does come back to the party. There is a Death Coil, making sure that the Mountain King unable to regenerate any additional mana, even though it's currently sitting at 285. All right, Mountain King may try to regroup here in just a moment. Peasants getting taken down rather quickly. Skeletal minions falling as well, but not really worrying about it as the Mountain King now tries to lead the way. There's a Stormbolt and a possible surround onto the Death Knight. Again, Footmen do have defend as the Death Knight is surrounded. All right, Obsidian Statue currently stuck here, and this could be bad news. There's a Stormbolt as the Death Knight may fall for the third time. Or, well, fall for the second time with one of those times burning the Scroll of Town portal. There goes the Death Knight again, and the Gargoyles are just not working to his advantage. The Gargoyles now trying to come back around. You can see the Gargoyles attempting to take down those guard towers, but with 3 guard towers now in play, with a 4th one now trying to be... Oh, is it going to get canceled in time? No, it is... Oh, yes, it does get canceled in time. Right there, the guard tower just needed about another 10 seconds or so, and it would have been 4 guard towers at this base operational. Lich now being added to the army. Are we going to perhaps see a Frost Nova? Gargoyles arriving here. Death Knight also getting resurrected at the tavern as we're ready for a new charge. Meat Wagon now making its way over. Meanwhile, the Footmen are going to be charging inside the main base. Who is going to come out ahead tech-wise? 48/50 for Th000. Meanwhile, Yumiko now has to worry about these meat wagons as this town hall is not upgraded to a keep. Since this is not the starting town hall, there is no worry or no chance of militia driving back these meat wagons, which is the main counter to these meat wagons. Fast-moving melee units that deal a good bit of damage. All right, let's see. One Gargoyle taking far too much damage here. Does need to back off. Not quite sure why it is not doing that. There is a Scroll of Town portal coming back again. And there is the army landing straight up on top of the meat wagon. All right, let's take a look. Are these units going to be able to run back in time? The Footmen now trying to chase after the meat wagon as the Footmen now get into position. Are they going to be able to do very much as we now see a bit of reflection coming back off of the defend? So far, Death Knight and Lich are now ready and raring to go once more. Let's see. Oh, wow. That Gargoyle's down to 16 hit points. Stays alive ever so barely as it's going to continue to regenerate hit points as well. All right, Gargoyles need to work together. Low hit point Gargoyle is just hiding off to the side. There's a Death Coil from the Death Knight. 400 hit point heal as we are looking at another major push once more. All right, damage is starting to add up. Town Hall getting massively repaired. And are those Gargoyles going to be able to finish off a peasant or two? Yes, they are, as the Death Knight now absorbing a lot of damage still. So far, what's the counter that we're seeing? Footmen now run inside the main base of Th000. Th000 now in trouble with no real way to counter it. He has a Halls of the Dead, but the Halls of the Dead is not attacking anything. Or is it? No, it is not attacking anything. Not quite sure why this Halls of the Dead is not attacking anything. It might just be stopped, and that could be a huge reason why his opponent has been able to go inside this base and just run amok. All right, Acolytes now being trained. Stormbolt now onto the Ghoul. It looks like, you know what, I can trade bases. If you want to trade, if you want to trade bases with me, Th000, you're gonna lose your main base as I lose my expansion, and I am okay with that as I will still have far much more gold than you. All right, Mountain King now trying to run all the way back here. Yumiko just barely surviving. Is he going to be able to perhaps use a Scroll of Town portal to get out of there? Potion of Invulnerability. Mountain King sitting at level 4. Going to get very close now to level 5. There's level 5 now on that Mountain King. as the Mountain King looks to finish off a couple of these minions. Mountain King still unable to do very much. It looks as though the Haunted Gold Mine will get taken down. There is the Scroll of Town Portal. All those footmen getting the heck out of dodge in an instant and now coming back over. All right, Mountain King now needs to lead the charge. There are three meat wagons now trying to head back home. Is that going to be enough of a leadway? Yes, it is, as the riflemen now opting to head over to the Fountain of Health and heal. All right, couple of low hit point defended footmen. One of them breaking defend a bit too early. As you can see, oh, that footman does end up getting taken down there. And we are now going into a bit of an engagement again. Mountain King sitting at level 5. May try to throw off another Stormbolt again. 350 hit point Stormbolts do really destroy everything pretty much on the undead side of the map, except for the Obsidian statue, which is easily taken out by the army anyways. Riflemen now making their way over. You can see the footman with defend. Yumiko without defend on one of those footmen gets taken out very easily again, and we are still seeing a very strong engagement. The Stormbolt onto another Gargoyle, and the Mountain King getting closer and closer to level 6. Yumiko looking very strong at this point. The stronger economic advantage is really helping him out. He can trade inefficiently and still come out ahead. The problem, though, is that it is a level 5 hero compared to a level 4 and level 2. Without Yumiko going for a second hero, he is going to be in a little bit of trouble. All right, repairing now underway onto that town hall. Mountain King just healing up. Continually wants to get off a lot of Stormbolts, and if Yumiko can have an all-star Mountain King again, as we saw in some of the other games earlier, then things are going to go from okay to really good for Yumiko if he can actually get into position. So far, though, Tho's strategy of mass gargoyles has not been paying off like Tho thought it would. Mountain King has really been able to disrupt much of the fighting going down as the Lich falls at level 2. Tho now trying to focus down this Mountain King, but I believe that is just going to be the GG. Tho unable to really make anything happen there, and Yumiko takes down Tho 2-0 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.